Pitър Ремерс. I'm involved in a number of different things. Everything is related to responsible gambling. I run my company in the Netherlands and I represent also the European Association for the Study of Gambling. And we do a lot of projects related to accreditation and certification of operators and suppliers in the gambling industry. Well, the industry can do a lot, but what I think is very important is that we work together with all the different stakeholders that are, let's say, related to the activity that we are talking about. That means that we have to look at regulators, in fact the policy makers, so to say, the industry, but also those who are involved in research and in the area of treatment. And not to forget that we have to take into account the customers. And they all should work together to a certain extent to create a sustainable and environment and a good opportunity to work in this area as well. Well, one of the things that is important related to what we are talking about is the introduction of AI that has happened a couple of years ago, so to say. But that's not the only thing. I mean, even if you ask and look at companies that have developed such efforts, so to say, like Mentor or Mindway.ai, but also PlayScan, which is developed by Svenska Spel, a Swedish company in the early days. Part of it is how do you recognize certain behaviors, and the other part is how are you going to work on that in a, let's say, live face-to-face situation. And I think that is one of the most important things for the industry at this very moment, is not only focus on everything that is related to AI, but also talk to your customers. And then you, of course, you can have a look at all kinds of different specific issues. And one of the things that I always find very important is what do we do with self-exclusion? Self-exclusion was originally meant to be a preventive measure, take a break for a moment, try to stay healthy, try to stay into control. But nowadays we use this in many cases as a solution for a problem. I think you have a problem. You know what you should do? You should exclude yourself. And that's, I would say, not the only answer that we should give. And we should learn more about our customers. And the industry should learn more about the customers.
Can you tell us a few more words about the ways for identifying at-risk users?
Oh, there are a lot of instruments. I mean, there are a lot of instruments to be able to identify possible problem gamblers. You have on a academic level DSM-5, ESD 10, 11, I have to say, SOX and all kinds of other instruments. But what is most important, and that's what you do see at companies like Mentor and Mindway AI, but also the big online operators themselves, is that they have developed, let's say, instruments that can indicate possible problem behavior. But at the very same time, that's not, as I mentioned before, not the only thing, because you should look further. And in fact, what you should do is everything related to responsible gambling should be personalized, individualized, because if you want it or not, but every customer is different from the other.
And finally, what is your message to the Bulgarian business in this sector?
For doing a good business, my message for doing a good business is work together with all these different stakeholders, including the regulators or even the politicians who are preparing, let's say, new regulations. Though at the very same time, I would say, let's forget about the politicians, because they usually have no idea what we are talking about. But it's important, and it's important to work together with all these different stakeholders. So that's my message for the industry, and that's honestly what I've been telling the past 35 years already, starting in 1988, doing projects with the industry. But it's going in the right direction.